Alright everybody, welcome back to the extremely slow playthrough of The Witness while Joe rambles about stuff the whole time. And I've just thought of something else I want to go do. Oh, also I could do this now. So many things I could go do now. Just a detail that I thought of that I didn't mention last time is it's quite interesting that you can only tell if you use no clip, but this entrance down here, this this tube that you walk through, which you cannot walk all the way down. Eventually, it stops you, right? Eventually, yeah. This actually extends outside of the island that we're on, like the rocks at the edge of the peninsula, because that went quite a long way that way, right? So like, think about the fact that this wall is here, then there's a bit of grass, then there's water. That keeps going. And so if you like, I think technically I can do like, what's the NVIDIA thing called, where I can like fly around? I'm not going to do it, but if you go into that tunnel and then fly out, you can see the tunnel on the outside. So like as you leave that space, the tunnel teleports away, so that it's not sticking out anymore. Which the second, or like the secret ending to the game reveals that we're in some kind of simulation of some sort, and so I guess this tunnel represents like just like my mind entering that space. And it kind of makes sense that the first part of it wouldn't conform to the structure of the world, I guess. Because I'm coming in from some weird dream state, I guess. Yes, rambling. Let's go do this vault over here. Okay. So the key thing here is like each start point has an issue with it, which is like, once you know these kinds of mechanics, it's like super obvious, but when you first introduce them, it's not so much. Like here, I can't possibly get both those dots. It's like, it's really easy to rule them out. Here, I can't get that dot, but also split those two. Like if I ever go to a corner next to a black and white square, I have to go through them. So I either have to do that or I have to do that, but I can't do both. I mean, I have to do both, but I can't. And then here, we've got black and white on this side of these splitting and black and white on this side of these splitting, and I can't do both. So we are going to do this. And then there are multiple exits. I think I can do something like this, right? White. Need to get that black one there. Come around here. It's interesting how lenient this game is. Like I could do something weird like that. Like this is certainly not a like unique solution kind of game. Which makes sense with the format of the puzzle. The fact that you have to draw your line from like beginning to end means there's not a lot of room for like making adjustments as you go. Like in Taiji, like you could like toggle any cell at any time, right? Which means that you could do like a very deductive process of like, oh, I can work over here and I can work down here, and like these symbols tell me a few of the cells over here, these symbols tell me a few of the cells over here. And like you could make a version of The Witness where you would just like, you could draw in segments of the line as you went. That's how, like, if you play like Slither Link, which is like a type of pen and paper puzzle, which is exactly the same mechanic as the triangles in The Witness. If you play Slither Link online or something, or like on like a tablet or whatever, you typically do it by filling in line segments, and eventually you end up with a connected line. But The Witness has a very good reason for like making you draw from the beginning to the end. It just means that it can't be as much of a deductive process, and it can't really go as complicated as Taiji did with a lot of its puzzles, because you have to do a lot of the deduction just in your head and then draw it out. You can't mark things in and then like fill in the gaps, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, there's obviously a good reason to make you draw the line, because they want you to start thinking about this line shape and just like seeing that line shape everywhere, because they want you to eventually realize that those line shapes are in fact everywhere. Look, there's a little tree, a cloud tree. Lovely. Look, the corners are breaking. I'm going to mention that all the time. Okay, got our first one of these. Am I going to remember it? Am I going to write it down? I mean, it's an easy one to remember. Just wiggle around the things. Well, it depends where the dot is and everything. I think this is the way you view it from. Let's write it down. Let's write it down. I'll do it like very scruffily. There we go. I'll do. Just drop my whiteboard. Okay. How did these rocks get in here? Like huge rocks. How did they get in here? I guess this might just be from carving out this. Like, is this the same? Is it the same kind of rock as this outside? I guess so. It's just darker in here. So they've carved this building out of the rock that's under this hill, I guess. And there's just like lumps of rock left over, I suppose. Okay. There's this. I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do this playthrough, because it's a weird one where I've already played the game before, but also have like a lot of things to say about it. But I also don't want it to like take forever if I'm just like talking about stuff a lot. Like, this is not the way into this area, but this does lead to some stuff, right? I don't quite remember what. Is there an audio tape around here? Potentially? Like, I know there is an environmental puzzle I can do from up here. Oh, there's one of these. Okay, hello. See, there's some things I don't remember about this game. Well, that was a very weird route to go. So yes, this is the slither link mechanic. The number of triangles is the number of edges that I have to touch. And yeah, these panels, it's kind of interesting because like they're clearly, it looks like they're supposed to be part of some sequence, like maybe these would link together with another set, but they're just like, for whatever reason, scattered across the island. And so this is almost like a tutorial sequence of puzzles. They've just been broken up and scattered. I don't think there's anywhere on the island that like makes sense as the place they would have gone. Like, is there a place where these tutorial puzzles could have been, like fixtures on the wall that they could have been attached to? I'm not totally sure. I'm hearing the howling of the stuff that we're going to see down there in a second. Anyway, what was I going to say about those as well? Oh yeah, like I remember having like a lot of trouble figuring out the mechanic here for these things, especially because the puzzle's so big, even though like most of it's not actually relevant. Only the lines around the thing are relevant. But I guess there's only one way to kind of figure that out, right? By like messing with the space that isn't relevant to see that it's not relevant. Okay, so there is going to be a thing here, but I have to do something first. Oh man, these vases. So one thing that I really don't like, or like one thing that I don't like that I associate with this game is kind of people's obsession with trying to find more and more secrets in it, or like obsessing over some of the details. Like, okay, I just noticed you. Hello. Hello, you. Talking about obsessing over details. Yeah, but okay, I'll talk about it when I actually get to the thing that I want to talk about. Okay, symmetry. 2 lines at once. Oh, and in fact, that I did exactly the right shape that I need to do the other thing. So people were really obsessed over these vases. People were like, "Oh, if I stand next to like this vase, I can hear a certain thing. If I stand next to this vase, I hear something else." or whatever, and these are like binary shapes, right? Okay, so the way this works is that, so I've done this shape, right? Like just lines at the middle, which is the same as this vase. This vase shape, right? And if I do this instead, I'll get a vase that's that shape, this red one over here. And you can think of this as binary. Like if you think of this like this is 0, 0, 0, or 0, 1, 0. That's 0, 1, 0. There we go. And this is why with 3 bits we get from 0 to 8. This would be 8 here. Are they in order? 0, 1, 2, 3, yep. 4, 5, 6, hold on. Yes, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep. Did I say that was 8? I meant 7, yes. The 8th one, I guess. So, I mean, yeah, that's true. They are in order and they're connected by these metal things. But I don't know. Like, I think there's more to this other than, like, kind of the observation of the fact that if you have symmetric lines like this, you create these, like, symmetrical shapes that can be used to kind of count in binary. I think that's all it really is. Oh, and these are inverses of each other. Right, yes. Okay, they're connected to the inverse. That's the thing I did not realize at all. But there is something to note. I just don't think there's a deeper secret. It's just like... It's just... I guess the way I think of it is, they made this puzzle. They were like, okay, we want to introduce the idea that there are symmetric lines and that they'll you know, follow each other but flipped over. And then they were like, but there's something interesting about that. It's not just that there's symmetric lines, but there's these shapes that form out of it, and there's a relation between those shapes. There are inverses, and so they were like, okay, let's make vases out of them. There's probably like multiple steps before getting there, but I assume it's that kind of process that happened when coming up with this idea, rather than like there being any deeper secret here. It's just like an observation of what you're doing with that panel. I guess like the other thing that's going on here is that this is like the glass factory, right? And all the panels here are made of glass. And I guess these vases are made of glass in some way. They've got this like Voronoi pattern going on them. But yeah, anyway, I don't think there's really more to it than that. What was I going to do? Oh yeah, the the other thing. Oh my gosh, this playthrough is going to take forever. I've literally just entered an area. Let's do that and then go around here. Hopefully people are liking this. Is this something anybody wants to watch? Maybe. Maybe. Okay. Then that lines up with that, and we have a new thing. And that's also a great idea, right? Like, okay, so you're exploring these vase ideas, and then one of the vases is like a start point for a puzzle, so of course it has to be. I think that's what's happened with this game, is they just spent, like, it took them 8 years to make it. I think they just spent so much time just going, okay, what are the, like, if I just, like, follow this thread, I've added this thing to the game, let's keep following that and see if there's anything interesting about it. And they just did that to, like, a high degree with, like, everything. Okay, so this is a thing. It's a circle, but, like, you can only do it from the other side. Also, the colour's not consistent from here and all that kind of stuff. I think we head all the way to the end. So where is the wind sound coming from? Not here. Is it? Well, this has its own sound. It's like this, it's supposed to be like almost like blowing through, you know, when you like, or when you like rub your finger on a glass, like the resonant frequency. Is it like coming down? Is the wind coming down through there and causing this sound? Or something? It's an interesting sound. Anyway. Oh yeah. This is, I believe, a reference to Braid, right? There's a sandcastle in Braid. But of course the sand from which the glass is made. Symmetry. So basically the same as the first one, but with gaps in it. And then we gotta learn that we gotta dodge the gaps on both sides. And then continue to do that. Is this one where we have to go down first? It might have been. Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, you do. That's fun. Like this. Cool. I'm just guessing, and I'm guessing correctly. There we go. Cool. And there's this one where this one starts from here and here, and then this one starts from here and here. I think both are solvable. Oh, yes, maybe. Which is weird, right? Like, previously when we've had 2 start points, it's been because the idea was like one of them could lead to a solution and the other one couldn't. But in this case, I think both of them work. Can I sort again afterwards? Because I know this goes down. Yeah, okay. I think I can. Can I? Oh my gosh. Whoa, it's weird that it takes me around like that. Whoa, and the camera like flicks around a bit. Okay, let's solve this again from the middle. Imagine doing this, discovered a new secret, which definitely does not exist. Yeah, they're both solvable. Is there something interesting about like that pattern and the other pattern? Are they the same pattern? They're not. Like if you draw them both on at the same time, is there something interesting about that? I could imagine it, but I'm not sure. Something for somebody else to think about. Just curious, like, is there a reason why both start points have their own little solution going on? Next is over here. Follow that cable. Like another thing that really made this game work for me is the cables. Like I'm not following them very much this time because I kind of know where I'm going, but like following cables is such a satisfying thing to me for whatever reason. Just like seeing where it leads, especially when it like goes around a corner and like what's going to be around there. Ramble. Okay. Oh yeah, so we're learning about rotational symmetry now. Easy enough. Oh gosh, maybe not. Oh, is this one where we have to go to what feels like the wrong corner? Seems like it. And then we get where the glass is just melted. But the fun thing is with this is it's just the same puzzle over and over. Where do we go? Not that way. Wait, is it up first? Maybe, yeah. There we go, like this. Yeah. Like it's just the same. Like it's deforming, it's melting. Yeah, the glass is melting, but it's just the same puzzle, so it doesn't matter that it's melting. Just do the same thing over and over. There we go. It looks cool though, look at that. So I assume this is like the furnace. I don't really know much about making glass, but this is like the furnace in which everything is melted into glass. Is the implication that these were hanging while it was on and they melted, or that they were deformed somehow? Or maybe when they were made, they were just like not made to the right shape or something. Who knows? Could definitely look at everything to a lot of detail, right? Like I assume this is stuff for like poking around inside the furnace. This is like a door. Would that go on the front? But it would have to have like a circular. Oh, it does. It does have a circular bit on the other side. Yeah, it totally does. Okay, so that was like slot into there. That's interesting. Huh, details that I'm noticing. Fun stuff. Also just like, it's like the reflection area and just like looking at this reflection, it's so like, it fits so well with the motif. Anyway, now this cable goes out this way and we follow it along here. I do not know if I'm missing environmental puzzles. There's a thing along here somewhere, isn't there? Well, there's a thing along here, but I think you can only see it from the boat. It's to do with like one of these rocks looking like something. Yeah, there's like a little statue there. Yeah, okay. What's the other thing? There's another thing around here. Oh, black pillar. Maybe I have to go in? Hold on. Yeah, it's not exactly here, is it? No. Okay, let's go in. Well, let's first look at the black pillar. Okay, so we've done one of these. Oh, okay, that's the windmill, I know that. We'll look at them later. In we go. So no symmetry, which is kind of curious, right? Suddenly we take away the symmetry. Can I think of a good reason why? I remember this one taking me a long time, actually. It's actually quite simple. Why have you taken away the symmetry from me for this particular puzzle? There's going to be a reason. What's the point you're making, game? I don't know. Like, is there something about that shape that's important? Like, I guess the first bit is just like a symmetrical T shape, but unsure. And then it's on the left side of this gate, whereas that one's on the right side of that gate. Is it like a similar... It's not the same at all. That was called symmetry. Okay. I never remember which way to go here. Where's the start? Or where's the thing I was just looking for? Is this the start? This is the start. I'm probably missing all sorts of like audio logs and stuff. But that's fine. Okay, mixing with dots. Dots, dots, dots. Oh, I did not see you. Cool. Like this. Come back on myself. Grab that, do that. Oh, Okay, opposites. Rotational symmetry. This is fine? Yeah. Which one do I go to? So it's interesting that all the dots are on one side here. But they're probably not all collected by the same one, right? Or actually, maybe. Yeah, okay, that's fine. That works. Cool. Cool. Along we go. Okay, then we've got separate colours. So if we start on the wrong side, we can't do this, because the blue line starts on one particular side, and the other line's on the other. I love what this set of puzzles does in a moment, it's great. Like this, do that. This. We've got to get that and that. It's like this. Get that. Oh, I guess the dots were symmetric as well in that one. That will become less true, won't it? I mean, it's interesting. It's like they're not symmetric here, but like the dots are, because like that one is a black dot over there, and this one's a black dot on this side, where it's a yellow dot on that side. But like, it doesn't matter. I can go just like follow the obvious path. Black dot there, yellow dot there, so we're going to be ending there with yellow. So I guess we can just go along and then grab that and that, yeah. And here we're getting more complicated. Grab the yellow. Maybe grab that black up there, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. Neat. Neat. Oh, and there's a bunch of other puzzles down there. These cables are strong. Oh yeah, there's also the fact that these cables are both like cyan and yellow, whereas from the previous one it was just cyan. That's another nice detail. Like I'm powering up both of them. Now that we've got both cyan and yellow in the same puzzle. I think this is where it does the fun thing, right? Yeah, okay. The yellow starts getting a little bit darker. Like something's going wrong with it. I remember at the time thinking, is there something wrong with the game? Is there a graphical glitch going on or something? I might actually want to start from this side, right? Do this. Grab you, then forget about yellow and do that. Yep, cool. This feels like the blue side. Let's go get you and you. It's okay, so the yellow's like fading even like a little bit more and a little bit more. I can see the dots through it. It's a great idea. I guess while we do this, I think there's a thing here. Yes, there is. Because I remember this one being very relevant to what's happening.
Formerly, you appeared to me, O Lord, as invisible by every creature because you are a hidden, infinite God. Infinity, however, is incomprehensible by every means of comprehending. Later, you appeared to me as visible.
It's invisible, just like God.
Everything exists only as you see it, and it would not actually exist unless it saw you. For your vision confers being, since your vision is your essence. Thus, my God, you are equally invisible and visible. As you are invisible. As the creature is, which exists only insofar as the creature sees you, you are visible. You, therefore, my invisible God, are seen by all, and in all sight you are seen by everyone who sees. You who are invisible, who are both absolute from everything visible and infinitely super exalted, are seen in every visible thing and in every act of vision. Therefore, I must leap across this wall of invisible vision to where you are to be found. But this wall is both everything and nothing. For you, who confront as if you were both all things and nothing at all, dwell inside that high wall which no natural ability can scale by its own power. Nicholas of Cusa, 1453.
Well, the invisibility of God. While we start making this yellow line invisible. So yeah, it's funny that like after the third one, it's just like, or after the fourth one, it's just completely gone, and you just have to imagine it. And I guess like, yeah, that's one of those quotes that's like a little harder for me to like think about because yeah, there's the fish. That's what I was looking for before. The koi fish, koi carp, right? It's just actually just those roots up there, but they look like fish from here. That's cool. And there's also like a shadow of a fish as well. I don't think I knew about that. Curious. Where's that coming from? Like this thing? Maybe. So yeah, I guess what that quote's talking about is like how like God is this like invisible being, yet at the same time is like incredibly visible through everything that I guess God has has created and has done. And I guess it's interesting to think on the idea of like how things that are like that yellow line in that puzzle does not exist, or it does not like perceptually exist. yet it still does exist, and it was still relevant. It was still collecting the yellow dots, even though I couldn't see it, and I had no way of actually perceptually it did exist because the blue line would hit against it. Uh, but yeah, it's just it's interesting to think on that idea of like, okay, what does it mean for something to exist? Does it have to be visible or perceptible in some way? Does that exist? How do I do the other one? By being higher up? Maybe from the top platform, which I can get to here at least. I think I need to be like right up there, don't I? Seems like it. Let's go do that separate. So like I think that does unlock this panel up here, right? Yeah, okay, so this is ready to go because that cyan and yellow cable came to here. Are those, do they split? No, they stay together. That would have been interesting, I think, to split the cables and have one of them go to the left-hand side of this thing and one to go to the other. Like, even though they're always together, like it just would have been a fun little visual thing to have like the left side and the right side of this be opened by separate cables. Anyway. Clearly, they did not think about this game enough when they were designing it. Okay, here we go. So this is like an interesting set of panels. I'm not quite sure why it would have been designed in this way, where there's just this separate set of panels that are not actually connected to doing this area at all. They're just entirely optional. I guess it's nice to have optional things. It's just then like, why here? But then here makes sense because it's like still it's all to do with symmetry. It's just this is like the first puzzle we're going to do that also involves like observational stuff. But yeah, okay. So here I got to draw out the pillars that are in the water behind. Ta-da! And so yeah, this is like even more like recognize even more that like the reflection in the water is, you know, ties into the reflection that we've been dealing with the lines, because now I'm literally drawing a reflection in the water. Always fun, and in this case part of it's obscured, just like some puzzles in Taiji did things like this. I like how that wraps around the tree, that's great. Otherwise it would just go through the water. Like it's like almost touching the water. Yes, this is this one, okay. Gotta do it from an angle. Cool. I think this is one where you just have to do like why? Okay, so these are closer. Oh, it's super weird, isn't it? So I think I've got to do like the extent. Got to include the rock entirely within the thing. Yeah, okay. That's a fun little setup. By having them closer and further away, they like take up different amounts of space at each half of the screen. Pretty cool. Then I remember what the twist is for this one. What am I supposed to use? That? The bush? The rocks? No, I stand on this side and use the... Oh, it's funny that it also doesn't snap. Like this side it snaps. Like I wonder if... So the cables always come in on the left-hand side of the screens, right? Yet for this one, it comes across, it goes into the right-hand side of the screen, which does tell me that I'm supposed to be viewing it from the other side. Like the cable always goes in on the left. But it's also kind of funny that it doesn't snap from this side then, and only snaps from this side. Curious, huh? Let's do this. In fact, let's do something silly and solve this from the other side. I think it was this. Yay! Cool, I've got these cushions again with those patterns on. There's another little like observational secret thing that I wanted to see somewhere. I think it's around here. It's to do with like a tree. Maybe it's outside. Is it that tree? Oh, it might be this tree. Yes, okay. It's the fact that the shape of this tree and its reflection fits perfectly into that outline in the rock. Also cool. Totally unnecessary, but cool. It's interesting that that feels like a great place they could have put a thing in. A puzzle, right? There could have been a circle at one end and so on. Curious how they decided what should just be like a little optical illusion type thing. I guess it's not really an illusion, but whatever. Versus what should be a puzzle. Well, maybe it was going to be a puzzle and they changed it into not one for whatever reason. Okay, that way. Such a like overly simple puzzle. There's gotta be a reason why it's overly simple. Where does that cable go? Just like into the wall. That's not a very good detail, is it? Where's the connection? Okay, here we go. We've got a thing here. Boom. That's actually not quite lining up, but whatever. And that's also fun, that there's like a reflective environmental puzzle as well, like sticking with the theme. I didn't realize this comes all the way out here. That's curious. Oh, there's a thing here. Okay. Some of these are very long.
Perfect and pervading, circulates in all natures. One reality, all comprehensive, contains within itself all realities. The one moon reflects itself wherever there is a sheet of water, and all the moons and the waters are embraced within the one moon. The absolute of all the Buddhas enters into my own being, and my own being is found in union with theirs. The inner light is beyond praise and blame. Like space, it knows no boundaries. Yet it is even here, within us, ever retaining its serenity and fullness. It is only when you hunt for it that you lose it. You cannot take hold of it, but equally you cannot get rid of it. And while you can do neither, it goes on, its own way. You remain silent, and it speaks. You speak, and it is done. The great gate of charity is wide open, with no obstacles before it. Youngcha Tashi, circa 700.
Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to say much about that. As soon as they get too spiritual or religious, I'm I'm not gonna be able to follow very well, I don't think. Right, this is where we reflect over to the other side. A fun elaboration on what we've been doing previously. So that same shape, I've forgotten it immediately. Okay. I've still forgotten it, but I think it's that. Okay, cool. And the fact that we have a yellow line on that side is kind of what, and a blue line on this side is like what leads you to make that connection, that they're supposed to be opposites. And they're connected along the floor, just like the vases in there, which were opposites. Cool, cool, that's an interesting connection. Nice. This. Up, round, down, and there. This. Yep. And then it does something sneaky. So it's that, but then the other one is flipped, right? Yeah, like the exit's on the bottom, whereas the exit's on the top from this one. So the thing is flipped. Up. Down. Does it do this? Yay! Look at it. Also worth noting the pattern on the laser box. So actually this one is not that. I guess no, there is a symmetry. Yes, there is. Like there's the squares. Wait, that's interesting. Oh wait, is it actually symmetrical in the? Oh yeah, from the center. This is a mirror line in the center, so there's a square in the middle, and then it's reflected on both sides. So yeah, I think the pattern on all of the laser boxes in some way mimics what was going on in the area that led to it. Boom. Now we wait for the slowest animation in any game ever. It's very fun and dramatic though. It's not that slow, I guess. Oh. Somebody had fun making it. Then it rotates or something, or maybe it's already pointing the right direction. Come on, what are you doing? Oh. Why does it stop for so long? Such a choice. And then we've got our first laser going to the top of the mountain. Oh yeah, talking of like people obsessing over details in this game, another thing that was really common for people to obsess over was like the colors of the lasers. Which do mostly match up, I think, with the cables that lead into them. So this is like a cyan laser. But then there's one that like blinks between two colors or something. I guess we'll see it when it happens. We'll try and pay attention. And it's not super clear why. I guess like I have no issue with people like attaching themselves to the details and wanting to think about why is it like that. The thing I usually have an issue with is people go, must be a code, and they start trying to like decrypt it or whatever. It's like, well, it's probably not that. It's probably something more like, you know, there's a theme or idea going on that you need to understand rather than some hidden secret code message thing. Well, that was that, I guess. Symmetry Islands. There's probably a bunch of stuff I missed, but we'll come back through later to find more stuff. Okay, so we have a choice. Let's do the pink trees next time. Although it's a quite short area, so we may end up finishing that and then maybe moving on to the desert. We'll see. Okay, cool. This is fun. This is good fun. It's nice to be back in this game. You can see how like this might end up connecting across this wall when you get past it in the boats. Anyway, yeah. See you next time, and we'll go do some tree puzzles. Goodbye.